we're going to begin. So Disha, let's start with a quick introduction and then we'll move on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So hi everyone. Once again, I'm really sorry, and let's start. So, I am Disha Acharya, and I am a freelance journalist. Currently, I'm freelancing for the Times of India, and I have done my schooling in Odisha, in my hometown, and later on, I did my undergraduation in Manipal University. So the course I chose was BA Media and Communication. It's a mixture of both journalism and mass communication. And later on, in my 3 years of course, I did a lot of internships in journalism and other sectors. And later on, I decided to do freelancing for a while to gain experience.
Okay. So next question that I have for you is that you've been working at Times of India. How it is like? What has your experience been like?
Working in one of the leading national daily has been great for me, honestly. So I joined the Times of India when I was in my second year of college. It might sound really unusual for people because I applied, there was an application open for freelancing in my city, and I just thought, why not give it a shot? And I just applied for it. I sent in my CV. There was a recruitment process, an interview and everything. And after that, I joined the company. And the work that I have to do in it is coming up with story ideas, writing reports, taking interviews, and then editing some reports as well. So my work is basically to have a lookout on different story ideas in my own hometown, what is happening, what is not, and then pitch it to them. And if they like my idea, they take it in, and that's how I start working. So the experience has been really great.
That sounds amazing. So you've worked at some amazing organizations in the industry like the New Indian Express and now Times of India. So can you tell us about the roles and responsibilities you played in these organizations?
Yeah. So in different organizations, I did different job roles, and that is because to have a holistic experience overall. And journalism is not just about reporting. We will cover that later in the webinar as well. But for now, we'll talk about the different responsibilities I had. So for the New Indian Express, I was an intern, and honestly, it has been the great learning experience for me. I got an opportunity to do lifestyle journalism and have experience in terms of coming up with story ideas. So why am I focusing on story ideas is because every report that you read is not just writing it. The entire angle, the entire decision of what the angle should be, how it can be interesting and how can it stand out from the many thousands and hundreds of reports on the same topic is important. So I learned how to research about a topic and then come up with an interesting idea. So that was my takeaway from the Indian Express. And later on, the Manipal Journal. And it has been the great experience for me. So the Manipal Journal, I joined as a reporter, and then I became a senior reporter. And later on, I was the news editor for it. So it, like you're saying, once you join your organization, you gradually go up, and that's how the hierarchy works in journalism in a media company. So my job role as a reporter was similar to everything else, but as a news editor was something really different and really enriching. My job role was just not to edit it. An editor just not edits a report. It manages a team. So I had the responsibility with few other co-members to manage a team of almost 100 people. And the entire work was to come up with story ideas, guide the reporters on how to do it, edit the stories, guide cartoonists on how cartoons can work on, take editorial decisions. All of this together helped us run the organization. So my work was just not to edit it, also to run an organization. So
okay,
these
wow,
were
that's
different. Yeah.
Okay, so that's really impressive. Yeah, so can you tell us about other roles that someone interested in journalism can move into within these organizations?
Yeah, so There is a misconception that one has to know writing in order to be a journalist. And trust me, guys, that's completely wrong. When I joined my course, I had never written anything apart from the school essays that we write, nothing else. And what made me go on in it is the interest that I had. One is in journalism, the interest I had in journalism, and second, to know what is happening and why is it happening. Questioning is the key. So anyone who loves questioning, anyone who loves news can be a journalist, can be a videographer, can be a photojournalist. So the different roles that are there are anchor, reporter, journalist, yes, but there are cartoonists, there are photojournalists, there are editors, there are columnists, producers, videographers, everyone else. So traditionally, we had the concept of just writing report or announcing it as an anchor. But now, with the advancement in new media, you can go on social media. All you have to do is just take up your phone, type out the news, and once you start, you will gradually grow. So use your skill that you have, can be drawing, can be photography, can be videography, can be writing, can be announcing, can be public speaking, and join that with news, providing information to others. And that's how you do it. That's how you join an organization. That's how you join a news organization.
Okay, that's so. Did you always wanted to do this to move into the field of journalism?
This has a really interesting story actually. So when I was in seventh, I wanted to be a journalist. And why did I want to be a journalist? Because I get to put on makeup on the TV. I thought that's the easiest job in the world. You just have to put on makeup. Later on, I realized the importance of announcing news. It's also being a voice for the voiceless, also knowing more about the world. And gradually I understood the importance of it and started digging up more into it and started knowing more about how to go about this course. And that's how I continued doing journalism. And yeah, that's how I ended up in this.
Okay, Disha, your voice is breaking. It's like very low right now.
Hello, can you hear me now? Is it clear?
Yeah. Better. Yeah. Can you please repeat the last part of your answer again?
Yeah, so after I wanted to be a journalist when I was in seventh, but gradually when I grew up, I understood the importance of it, and I understood that being a journalist is not just sitting in front of the TV, it's being the voice for the voiceless, and also knowing more about what is going on in the world. If we are not the people who will question it for the community, then who else will? So that's how I ended up in this.
Okay. So do you have any advice or pro tips for our mentees who want to get started in this field?
Yeah, so people who are interested in journalism, I just saw a few questions about, do you need to have a course in journalism? No, you do not. All you need to have is the interest in news. That's it. You just need to have the interest in news and the ability to question. That's all you need. But yeah, there are some tips that I would want to give you all, and that would be communication skills are really important in journalism. It's not just how to talk, how to communicate with your words, how to communicate with your content. It has to be easy to read, it has to be simple, because you are providing news for people in a simpler way for them to know what is going on, what is it that is happening in the world. So make sure your content is simple and it's clear and has no fancy words or nothing fancy in it. So make your communication skills strong. And second would be read a lot of news. I know this is something we hear from our parents all the time, and I might sound like a mom or a dad asking you to read newspaper, but read newspaper daily. It's really important. The more you read, the more you understand how a news can be presented in different ways. Like,
Right.
you might be surprised to know the angle Times of India takes and the angle Indian Express takes are completely different. And you will only understand it by reading more and more news. And the third one would be uh, communicate with people, like start creating contacts, start talking to, like you have LinkedIn, and just start once you get out of your college, once you get out of your schools, join LinkedIn and start connecting with people. That's going to do heaven, like that's going to be heaven for you. The more you get on LinkedIn, the more you start connecting with people, the more you will read their content, and that's when you will understand how to create content. And once you start creating content, those people are going to review it for you. Those people are going to give you feedback and share your work. And that is how you're going to grow. So the three advice would be communication skills, make it simple, precise, on the spot, nothing fancy. Second would be read a lot of news from different organizations and understand how to analyze it. And third would be connect with people. That's the key.
Right, right. Okay, so what kind of internships should students in college try to apply for if they're interested in this field? And most importantly, how to approach these organizations for internships?
Yeah. So in my experience, each of the internships that I have done are all different from each other, and some are not even related to journalism, because my approach was to gain skills more than just doing an internship in journalism field. So what I would focus on here would be gaining transferable skills. Transferable skills are those skills like communication, public speaking, social media management, content creation, video editing. These are the fields. Oh, and research. These are the fields which can be transferred to any kind of organization you work in. Everyone needs people to communicate. Everyone needs social media managers. Everyone needs researchers. So the more you focus on the internships where one skill is the hero, the more polished you get. So I have done internships in PR, in social media marketing, digital marketing, in reporters, news producers, everything. So once you do an internship in one particular skill, that skill gets better with time. And rather than just doing a broader one of doing a reporter, like usually people suggest be a reporter in POI, be a reporter in Indian Express, be a reporter in CNN. That's not going to work out because every organization will teach you how to report. So why not do one reporting internship, and other internships can be something different. That way, you will have a holistic experience of internships. So that would be my advice for the kind of internships you should do. And if we talk about how to approach organizations, it's very easy. I started off with online internship platforms like Internshala. Just get on Internshala, check out the different companies you have, organizations you have, and start applying. You might have to start with an unpaid one, if it's your first internship, but do not be sad, because the experience you get and the knowledge you get is more than the salary out of it. So concentrate on doing internships through these online websites. And if you want to do recruiting internships, I would suggest start with your local branch of a national daily. Like I started with Times of India from uh, from the branch of Times of India in my hometown. It might just sound like, yeah, maybe doing an internship in Mumbai or Delhi is fancy, but journalism is not about being fancy. It's about simplicity. So do an internship in your own hometown. Trust me, the news and the quality of work will be much better than one from the metropolitan cities. So do it from your hometown. Contact those organizations. Send them an email. Say, hi, I'm interested in doing an internship or traineeship or anything. And they will reply to you. They might not be in a stage to hire or pay you, but they will for sure take you in for a very interesting opportunity. So yeah, you can approach online or websites, or you can go to your own local branches.
Okay. Okay. So, like, how can you tell us what projects or campaigns did you work on, or something that our mentees could work on to build their resumes?
Yeah. So something that I kind of made a mistake in my life, and I learned from it, that I did not do enough personal projects. Okay. And doing personal projects are really important, because that is when organizations see that you are capable of doing a story on your own. You don't need someone above you to make you do it. Okay. So it can be very simple. You see a news, let's say a news on coronavirus and the number of death rates and everything is increasing in India, and you might have an opinion on it, and that's very natural. Write that opinion down and frame a report. That's all you have to do. Like, uh, pick up an issue, start investigating on it, start researching on it. Internet is there to help you in everything, and all you have to do in the end is write a report. That would be my tip for people who want to start writing. And if anyone is into drawing and making caricatures and paintings or anything creative, even graphic designing for that matter, you are interested in news, all you have to do is get into cartooning. Like, cartooning is the best and the most insightful experience anyone can have, because in that, it's not just news that is being out for people. The news is very creative. Like, it's the opinion, that's the only way an organization can put out opinion. Otherwise, news reports are not opinion pieces, they are just facts in simple manner. So if you are interested in drawing, you can start with caricatures and make cartoons. And if you're into reports, research in a topic, start writing reports. So few of the projects that I have done would be, there's this Instagram series that I started with the Manipal Journal. It was called Questions That Matter. And the the entire concept was to ask questions about different national and international news, or like local news, mostly local news, to the marginalized people, and ask them what is their opinion on it, what are the problems they are facing, and being a voice for them. Because within our past life, we sometimes forget about them, and they are really important for us. If they are not there, probably like during the lockdown, we faced so much a problem because our house helps were not coming. And if we are not going to be their voice, then who else will? So that is what I started, and we did from all around the country. We started talking to people in our hometowns, asking them questions, and that project got a lot of viewership and expanded the Manipal Journal from just being in Manipal to the entire country. So that's a small project we started, but it resulted in great way. So that is one of the projects I did. And currently I am doing a podcast. It's called What's Brewing, and it's a very new thing for me. I had never stepped into audio editing and video editing and all that. But like I said, because I did some small internships in these things, now I can use it for my own project. So that is what I would focus on more. Do start creating content in any way possible. Okay, because if you don't start now, it will be too late. Like, make it messy, but start now. The more once you start, gradually it will get polished, and gradually it will become probably the best one. Maybe nationwide people are going to know you for it. So my advice would be, just start with content in any form you want.
Okay, that's interesting. So one thing that everyone wants to know is, how do you pitch for internships? Like, how do you write SOPs in such a way that you get selected, even if you have no experience?
Yeah. So for that, when I started with my experience, I would explain, you might be just interested in it. Be honest. just never say that, oh, I have done this, and don't fake it at all, because that's not what we want. Or journalism is about being honest. Stick to your ethics. Write a simple in cover letter, and just write that what's your name, what are you doing right now, which college are you studying in, and what is your interest in journalism. And if it's an organization you have been following, write that I have been following your organization, this is the kind of work that I like doing and I would be interested in doing, and send it off. Trust me, they are going to reply to you, and they will make sure that something, if not a traineeship, if not an internship, there are small training program for 15 days or something like that, and they might have that opening and they might take you in for that. So make sure that your cover letter is honest and shows your interest in journalism. Just tell that, hey, I'm interested, hey, I want to work. And if you have some essays of your own, like written of your own, or some blog post of your own, put that in your email ID, email as well, because then they will know that, yeah, you have little bit of experience in writing. If not journalism, that's okay, but something you have. So make sure that you put in those things and just be honest about applying.
Okay, well, that was mind-blowing, Disha. That's about my questions. I think let's keep the floor open for mentees now, and we have a lot of questions coming in here. So yeah, let's begin with this. An anonymous attendee is asking, what are some books you would recommend for aspiring journalists?
Okay, so I would suggest okay, I wouldn't suggest any book as such, but I would suggest read news. Reading news is more important than books. Like, I know it might sound very unusual, but journalism is about the practical experience that you get. And reading books can help you. Definitely, they will tell you the ethics and the basics of journalism, how to structure a report. So any book is going to help you, but the important thing that is going to help you is reading lots of news, and not from organizations which are biased or which are unethical. Read news from ethical and unbiased sources like Reuters, like the New York Times, like Washington Post, or from Indian organizations like PARI, People's Archive of Rural India. So when you read reports and read a lot of news, you gradually understand what journalism is about.
Okay, okay. So Harbeen is asking, what motivates you the most in your work?
Hi, Helene. That's a really interesting question. And it's the satisfaction I get in the end of the day. Like, once I get up in the morning, I do journalism, I write reports, I edit reports. And in the end of the night, when I go back to my bed, I feel so satisfied that I'm doing a job which interests me, and which is giving me the pleasure that I need. If not a lot of money, if not a lot of fame, I'm feeling the satisfaction that I need. So when I sleep satisfied at night by doing the work that I like, I get motivated and wake up the next day.
Right, right. Okay. So Brinda is asking, do we have to post that report anywhere? Like that report that we create for sending to organizations, do we post that anywhere?
The reports that you send to different organizations, or you just write on your own?
Yeah. First we write and then we send, I guess.
Okay, so if you are working for an organization and you write a report, make sure that when you post it anywhere, that you give the credit to the organization. Like, hey, I have written this report for this organization. And if it's not sent to anyone, you can post it anywhere you want to. That's no problem. And I would highly recommend you to post reports, because that is when people are going to know you better and they will give you feedback for you to improve. So make sure that you keep posting reports. If credit is due to given, then give it. If not, then go ahead.
Okay, okay. So Abhishek is asking, what all factors make a good journalist?
Okay. Um, I think a good journalist has to be ethical. And that is something which is dying right now in media. I feel a lot of journalists being, are not sticking to the ethics and the principles that a journalist should stick to. So a good journalist doesn't need to know how to write brilliantly or how to talk brilliantly or how to do video brilliantly. That will happen with time. But to be a good journalist, I would request you to be ethical. Stick to your ethics and principles, and everything else will follow you.
Okay, okay. So the next question that we have is Abhishek is asking, can anyone become a part-time journalist along with a mainstream job?
Uh, okay, it depends on your job. So a lot of organizations do not let you be a part-time worker at anything. But so make sure that you talk to your organization before being a freelancer. But what you can be instead is a columnist. So what columnists do is they usually write columns for, like, I think you have seen the editorial page of a newspaper, and over there you will see people writing columns. So you can write columns like once in a week, once in a month. You can always write columns. So you don't have to be a reporter or a journalist. You can be a columnist.
Okay, okay. So Brinda here is saying, I am doing BCom honors. What should I do after graduation? I want to do reporting later. So what should she do after graduation?
Okay, so uh, if so I was from commerce background, and I did my 11th and 12th in commerce. So the interest that I found out recently is something called business journalism, and that is that is the kind of journalism in which I can report about business news and everything related to it, like stock market, business organizations, and everything, like and about the people, famous businessmen, and everything related to that. So I think if you have a background in commerce, you can definitely, start putting in effort, making your writing skills better a little bit by writing own reports and everything and analyzing business news. And eventually, I think you can go ahead in that way, because that's going to be that's a niche, and that can be really good for you.
Okay, okay. So Chavi is saying, I did commerce in 11th and 12th. I really don't know what I have to do further, but I got in BMM, Xavier's Mumbai, and I would be pursuing it just because of the college. I really want to be in touch with the commerce though. So do I
Okay.
have any scope of marketing, advertising, or perhaps anything related to commerce after mass media?
Definitely, you have all the liberty to go for marketing and everything. I think you must have seen advertising agencies taking in social media marketers, digital marketing, and even something related to advertising. So what you can do is, I think it's a course of mass communication in Xavier's. So they kind of teach you a mixture of everything and not just journalism. So you can definitely pursue that after it.
Okay. Um, so Lakshya is asking, can you please share your experience of PR internship and tell some of the qualities one should have for PR?
Okay. So I was a PR for a blog, like a blogger, and the work that I had to do in that as a PR was to manage the social media, like how not to make content, but to see the comments and the followerships and everything else, to analyze if social media is doing good or not. And later, my work as a PR was to collaborate. So a
Okay.
blogger needs to increase her followership or reach, she has to organically do it by collaborating with people. So as a PR, my work included to get in touch with other people, get collaborations for her, because that's the organic way of growing on social media. So that was one. Second was to analyze the social media, and I think yeah, if there was any problem in terms of anyone did not like a post because of some reason or they had some issues, then I was the one who was addressing it and talking it out with them. Or just like anytime you see a sorry post going up for some company because of some problem, that's the work of the PR, to analyze the situation, communicate, and then solve it. So those were my
Okay. Okay. So this one question is about editing. How can I become an editor, and what skills should I have to be one?
okay. So for being an editor, you you definitely need to get your writing skills on point. Okay, so the basic purpose of an editor is to see if the writing is the grammar is on point or not, the flow of the article is on point or not. So make sure that your writing is on point in order to judge someone else's. And the second thing that editor focuses is on deciding the story angle that I spoke about in the beginning of the semester webinar. So the angle of the story that goes on into the report is decided by the editor in collaboration with the reporter, of course. So the editor's work is to find out that different way of putting that story out there for people, for your story to reach more people. So to be an editor, make sure that your writing skills are on point, and you analyze a lot of news. The more you consume news on TV, on podcasts, on newspapers, start analyzing it. Start seeing how can this news put in a better way than what it is already there. The more you do that, I think you can be a great editor.
Okay. So people say that one can't fully rely on journalism for their daily bread. What are your thoughts on this?
Definitely, they can rely on journalism for their daily bread. There is no, it's it. That's what, like, people in India sometimes think that freelance journalism is not a job, but it is a job. I do earn enough to have a proper living. Touch wood. So I think being a freelance journalist, also you can earn enough, and being a full-time journalist at any organization, be it TOI, Indian Express, Reuters, BBC, CNN, etc. You can earn your daily bread without any problem. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Mansi is asking, how can one enhance their communication skills?
Okay. And the answer for that would be get on your social media and start connecting with people. The more you connect with people, the more you start posting on your social media, definitely about work, not about your personal stories and everything. The more you get formal on your social media, because right now, because of the pandemic, no one can go out and communicate. So I'm going to give you advice for distant communication. The more you get on social media, the more you connect with people, like on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Facebook, connect with professional people over there. And Twitter can also be really good. And the more you do that, the more better you get in your communication skills.
Right, right. So Sakshi is asking, do I need to focus on every field of journalism like reporting? She's already a journalism student.
Okay. Does she have to focus on reporting? Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. Does she need to focus on every field of journalism like reporting?
Okay, so depends on what you want to do. If you want to go for editing in the editorial board, then you definitely have to focus on your reporting, because and other things as well, because an editor will also guide the photojournalist about the kind of angle he has to capture in photojournalism, because it's not just about clicking a happy picture or a sad picture. It's about the story that the picture conveys. So the editor's work is also that. So if you want to get into the editorial position, you definitely have to focus on everything, like an idea about everything, if not all the skills. But if you want to get into photojournalism, video journalism, cartooning, anything like that, you don't have to get on reporting at all. You just have to understand how to analyze news. That's it.
Okay, okay. So Lakshya is asking, how can we apply for internships in organizations like Times of India? Like, he's very specific. How can we apply for internship in Times of India?
Okay, so Times of India has a career page on their, I think you can just type on Google about Times of India career page and they are going to open the page. And all you have to do is click on the option to register yourself and put your information about what is your name, educational background, internship experiences and everything. And they will notify you whenever there is an internship opening. But that
Okay,
a very lengthy process. So what you can do instead is in your local town, in your hometown, you can approach the TOI branch and ask them if you can, join as an intern. So that would be faster.
okay, okay. So an anonymous attendee is asking, how do you become a columnist?
Um, okay, so for being a columnist, you really have to have interest in news. You have to read a lot of news, write a lot of reports, and send in your entries whenever required to the editor. So usually if you see on every website in their contact us page, there is an email ID to the editor. So I think it could be editor at the rate TOI, editor at the rate CNN, anything. And they ask over there for you to send in your entries. So you just have to send in your work sample some over there, and gradually you become a columnist. Like honestly, to be a columnist, you need a little bit of experience, and that comes with time. So you can start off by sending your pictures over there, and it will happen. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So Ruchira is asking, how can one get over their writer's block?
Oh, okay. What I do usually, if I have a thought distracting me, I just go and concentrate on doing. If I want to watch Netflix or anything, I just go and literally watch it. I don't force myself to write. So if you are going to writer's block, do not force yourself to write. Please, that's not when you get good content out. Go and rest for a while, do some exercise, drink some water, refresh yourself, come back, and that's when you write, you're going to write better.
Okay, okay. So now that we're on this topic, tell us about a typical day in the life of a freelance journalist. I'm not asking this, a mentee has asked this.
Okay, so what when I was in my college, I had my college and everything going on. So I had a busy time with college assignments and exams and everything. Being a freelance journalist was a little bit hectic, but now after my college is over and everything, I wake up at whatever time I have to. Like I usually wake up by 8 o'clock, and after that I have my breakfast, freshen up, and I start looking for stories. If you are a freelance journalist, please don't think that you don't have a particular time of working. If you have a particular time of working, it's better. That's when you be more productive. So make sure, like you have office hours. You set your own office hours and you work at that time. So what I usually do is I start off my morning by finding out stories. So I go through different social media, different news channels, news websites, and see for what the story ideas there. And then I decide on the story that interests me. I write a pitch and I send it to my editor. And once it gets approved, I start working on the report. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So Lakshya is asking again, what are the qualities or the things they observe while selecting interns in the organization like Times of India, and
Mhm.
how we should prepare ourselves before going for the internship or the interview?
Okay. So, uh, one thing I would like to clear here, when it's an internship, know that you are applying for an internship to gain experience because you do not have any or you have little. So it's a time where you learn. So please do not try to put yourself like, hey, I know everything, or I have done so much. That's not the attitude that they want. They want to have an attitude of you where you want to learn more. So go with the intention of learning more, having more experience. Tell them that, hey, these are the kind of reports I've done. Or if you haven't done anything, tell them I haven't done, and present yourself like that. And I think that should work for someone like that. But if you want to prepare for the interview, I would suggest make your communication skill stronger, be confident, honest, uh, do not lie about anything, just tell whatever it is. Uh, if you do not know an answer, just say that, sorry ma'am, sorry sir, I don't know the answer. And they will appreciate your honesty. And tell them that you're interested in learning. That's all they care about. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So Renuka is asking, can we start writing a story as a content?
Story like creative story, or like a script story?
She did not mention it yet. Renuka, can you be a little more specific with your question, please? Okay, meanwhile, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Priya is asking, if a person is good at Hindi and they want to do journalism, so what would be your advice?
And see, you do not need to have a particular language for journalism at all. There are so many Hindi news channels and Hindi web portals out there who need reporters, anchors, researchers, producers, everything. Like Aaj Tak, Republic Bharat, and a lot more. All you have to do is have an interest in news, research, analyzing news, finding out stories, and no matter what your language is, you're good to go. So yeah, you can approach these Hindi. You can approach a lot of organizations like I mentioned, and they are gonna teach you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So Aisha has asked, what are the ethics that you were referring to in the previous answer?
Okay. So one of the important ethics of journalism is to be unbiased, and you have to write a report uh, where you do not take a side of anything. As an individual, you might be, let's say, for example, the government. You might be pro-establishment or against the establishment. But while writing a report, you are not allowed to show your emotions, because that might make the reader be analyze the news in a different way. They might analyze it in your point of view, but that's not what your work is. Your work is to be unbiased, tell the news without any opinions. And the second ethic would be being honest. So there are a lot of times people just put in information which never happened, or they add spice to the news, like they say. It's not allowed. You cannot add spice. You have to put it in the way it is. That is the reason why it's news. And it has to be factually correct. Just write the facts and you're done. So being ethical means being unbiased and also being honest. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So Ruchira has asked, is it necessary to subscribe and follow more than one news publication to improve our skills? And which publications would you recommend?
It is definitely important to follow more than one news organization. So you don't have to pay all the time, because I understand now, being student, it can be difficult for you to pay and subscribe. But there are a lot of free news portals as well. Like you have Reuters. That would be my go-to news agency for anyone, because their news is completely unbiased, no spice or no uh, like it's always factually correct. So go to them for your primary news, and apart from that, you can go for the New York Times for the kind of long pieces that they write, and you can go to Washington Post. You can go to the New Yorker. You can go to Pari in India. It's called People Archive of Rural India. Then you can go to the New Indian Express or the Indian Express, Times of India, of course. So yeah, these are these could be some for you to start off. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Next question that we have is, would it be appropriate to add my poetry blog as an attachment to the CV while applying for a journalism internship?
I am really sorry, but that's not going to help you because you can't. Journalism is about facts, and it's kind of really like hardcore news. If you understand, it's about facts. It's about what is happening, and poetry is not a form of journalism, sadly. But it won't help you. But rather, what I can tell you is if you can write poems on topics which are on news or something about what is happening in daily lives or about, let's say, coronavirus and the sad times which is going on with so many people dying and all that, probably that can be seen as the research that went into it. But I don't think poetry is going to help you in it.
Okay, okay. So Sakshi has asked, how do we prepare packages for reporting, and how is interview a part of reporting? I think
Interview?
that's the question.
Okay.
How do we prepare packages for reporting?
Okay. Okay, so for when you are preparing for an interview or to write a report, your research plays a huge role, and I don't think people focus on it more. So go on the internet and start reading up about the topic that you're covering or the person you're going to interview. Start reading up on them, see their old interviews, see the old reports on the topic you are researching on, and gradually you will understand what they have missed and you can cover in your report. So again, the more you read, the more you understand. So there are a lot of archives on internet. You can find a lot of news and everything. Just go on there and you can find out a lot.
Okay, okay. So Disha, that is the last question of the day. We're done with questions here. And guys, I've shared a feedback form link in the chat box. Do fill that feedback form before you guys go so that we can know what you thought about the session and what more sessions we can organize for you guys. And thanks a lot, Disha, to be you came here, you became a part of this 1 hour. It was an amazing, amazing session, and it was lovely to have you over. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
And before you go, could you
Thank
drop
you.
your And before you go, could you drop your email address or your LinkedIn ID in the chat box so that our mentees can connect with you after the session?
Sure. I will.
Yeah. And guys, do make sure that you fill the feedback form before going. And thank you so much for sticking with us for 1 hour. It was
Thank you so much, guys, for being here today.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I dropped my email and LinkedIn.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you so much for the lovely, lovely session, Disha. And thank you so much to all the mentees who came here tonight. It was an amazing session. And I'll see you guys again in the next webinar. Stay tuned and stay healthy. Stay healthy, Disha. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Daksha, you should be able to see the... Okay, wait. You should be able to see the email ID now. Can you? Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for being here, guys, with us tonight. And thank you. Even after all those technological problems in the beginning of the session, you guys stayed with us. Thank you so much. And quickly take a screenshot because I'm going to end the meeting. Okay, bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Stay safe.